So what's up? Why are you in Miami?
Man, I just came to see you and you've been ducking me. And
I just got back.
We wanted to get some new Uzi news. We wanted to get some new Carti news.
Some new Carti?
Street said he was going to drop an album, but he didn't. Street said he was going to drop an album on Christmas.
Well, I got some. I got some. I never said that because I think no matter what, like Carti's trolling. He just knows anything he says on Twitter or anything. That's why he's posting screenshots of recordings. He knows people are gonna start beating off to it, and it's gonna garner attention. He doesn't need to surprise drop like that. He's gonna troll a little bit, make sure the whole mainstream is, especially because this album is important. Do you agree?
Like important in what sense? Like I don't think it's make or break in any capacity.
I don't think it's make or break, but I'm saying like right now, and I've talked about it. I think that the next couple years, Uzi and Carti are potentially going to pass each other again. Although Uzi just came off Just Wanna Rock.
Yeah.
But I feel like that might be a one-off. Like it wasn't even really what Uzi makes.
But I feel like Uzi's not him anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Carti, even though maybe he's not commercially as popular, he's like not only like other artists, they're looking at Carti like, okay,
he's a god.
What style are we gonna copy next?
Facts.
So they're waiting for him to like take the lead, whereas they're not looking at Uzi. They're like, oh yeah, Uzi, that famous guy. That's like
everybody loves Uzi, no matter what.
Like, oh, Uzi's doing something again, but it's not like, oh shoot, we have to see what Uzi's about to do next.
Yeah, like whatever Carti wears next, like if it's not Rick Owens or whatever, like the whole TikTok, everybody's gonna be rocking that. Uzi doesn't have that influence anymore.
Yeah, but
did he ever? Do you think he ever had the same amount of influence? Because I don't know if people were ever on Love Is Rage 2 sound or Love Is Rage sound as much as everybody's on Whole Lotta Red Rage beats the past couple years.
But is that like a compliment? Because that could be like, oh, nobody could do Uzi's style, so that's why they didn't copy it. Or it could be, that's one way to look at it.
Also, I don't know if it was like the beat selection and whatnot was as unique as Whole Lotta Reds. So like maybe people did try to get influence. Like originally Trippie Redd was an Uzi clone, right?
Yes.
Even the first time I heard Trippie, I was like, what the fuck, this is the Uzi clone. But then it was like, okay, this is kind of hard. And then you hear the differences. But Uzi, like Love Is Rage 2, you could potentially hear like it's not as abrupt of a change.
Why did Trippie Redd never become that though?
Come what?
Just any of those things. Either what Uzi was or what Carti is. I feel like Trippie's consistently done numbers, but when was the moment where I feel like Trippie's never really had a moment where we were like, yo, this is Trippie era.
Well, so he was supposed to be on God's plan, right?
Yeah.
So I think, and I even talked to him about it, like he knows it's a missed opportunity, but he's still doing well. So I think his business acumen spans way greater than what a lot of people think. Like he's got properties and everything.
Yeah, but we're talking about his music,
like music
specifically. Like I don't think Trippie Redd's an idiot in any capacity because he washed 6ix9ine over the long run, and he said he was like, yo, like I'm here for a minute. 6ix9ine's, he's doing all this stuff, but is he gonna keep people's attention with the music? And people laughed at him. They're like, Trippie, what are you talking about? Your music is mid or just average. And he showed up. So he's outlasted him. So I definitely don't think Trippie Redd's an idiot or dumb in any capacity. But musically speaking, I think Trippie Redd makes good music, of course, but it just doesn't feel like... It feels like he's more... I don't even know how to describe this in terms. Like he's not a star player, and I don't know why he's not a star player.
I think he went the same route as Uzi, in that they started out super unique, and then they kind of conformed to like the mainstream rap sound. Like this whole Baby Pluto Uzi shit is almost like what Lil Baby's doing, or like the other rappers.
Yeah.
Like mainstream beats and like regular rapping, whereas Uzi was more on the mumble moan rap. Trippy was also on that with a little grungier sound, but now Trippy's kind of like making pop songs. Same thing with Uzi.
It's because Trippie Redd never had a hit. Like, if Uzi didn't have XO Tour Life, would he be kind of like in the realm that Trippie Redd is in right now? Because Trippie Redd's never got that smash.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as an artist, you're most of the time one song can make you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like Uzi got a couple on him though. He had like XO Tour Life, that was a smash. But you're right, like what else comes close to that?
Yeah, and Trippie Redd hasn't had. I don't know if he's had like a
20 minutes.
Hit.
20 minutes was a sleeper. That was on the deluxe.
Yeah, Lil Uzi has hits,
and now it's more popular than XO Tour Life.
Is it?
Yeah, it's hotter.
Oh.
And then The Way Life Goes with, I think that had.
I feel like 20 minutes is
Money
like
Longer.
Uzi's
yeah, Uzi had
goosebumps.
hits, man.
No, Uzi's definitely had hits.
Expectations on Pink Tape.
Honestly, like I think I've said this multiple times. I'm good on Uzi music in terms of if Uzi drops, I'm not like, yo, I really got to check this out, which is the same thought that I have for Carti. But Uzi's already dropped enough music where I'm like, yo, these are some great projects. You've given me about four at least, maybe even 5 projects that I can still listen to. So I don't have like that expectation of him.
Is he a solidified GOAT?
I think he's like a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Uzi doesn't need to prove himself at all.
I agree.
But
also the thing is too with Uzi and like the whole Uzi Carti thing is now like Carti's got people that signed to him that's going up. Like Uzi's not even competing. I don't know if Uzi's even able to compete commercially considering Carti's next album. We don't even know if Uzi can compete selling the same venues. We don't know if Uzi can compete. Well, Uzi can't compete because he hasn't signed any artists that have blown up. So we're like, we got 3 things here that are just.
But Uzi can compete with peak success.
Of course.
Because I think everything you said is a fact. But Carti hasn't necessarily proved himself to the mainstream audience yet. I don't think he has a smash hit other than Magnolia. Yes, he's had a couple TikTok songs, but nothing close to 1 billion streams on Spotify.
But the way Carti's making music, you just can't do that.
Like, I agree.
Like someone, like the sound has, if you want to be on the cutting edge, you're going to give up hits.
Yeah.
You have to. Because Uzi didn't have a hit for several years.
Well, he was on Billboard with like Money Longer and others.
Yeah, but those were like, the niche was strong enough to carry those songs. It wasn't like really, really mainstream. Actually, maybe until like Canadian Goose or Money Longer. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World.
Was more palatable than even Dial It.
Yeah, I agree. And I honestly think that the whole underground scene, if you want to consider like if you want to equate that to the 2016 SoundCloud era, even though everybody was rather commercial, is literally like if it's a pyramid, it's like all under Carti. It's all opium. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I think that's what's killing the underground right now. Just his influence is too much.
So everyone's starting to what?
Everybody's wearing Rick Owens. But everybody's on those beats.
The question is, if Carti changes it up again, which is rumored to be the case,
because of academics,
are his artists gonna change up and copy the new style too, or are they gonna stay like he's like, hey, look, my sons, I've given you this old style, this is becoming more mainstream, you guys can hold on to this while I move on to the next style?
Have you listened to Destroy Lonely?
Not more than one song.
Was it No Stylist?
I don't think so. It came out before that album, the song that I heard.
Okay, so basically it might have been Bane then, but regardless. So Destroy Lonely doesn't really rap on the rage shit unless it's like a collab with Ken Carson. It's more like heavy distort, or like it's almost like drill in a way, but not, where it's ambient 808s. It's not rage though. So academics said that it's gonna Carti's next album is gonna be different. And technically speaking, people are saying that before that Carti originally got the rage sound kind of from Ken Carson. He even produced on Whole Lotta Red. So is that new sound just gonna be Destroy Lonely's? Because Destroy Lonely is kind of like the newer artist on the label.
Yeah, but Ken Carson has been around. So do you think, are you trying to suggest that Playboi Carti took like influence from Ken Carson and then just made the sound, like made something out of that?
Well, so if you go back to Yale by Ken Carson, when did that drop? Yale, no Ken Carson.
I just know that Ken Carson's been around Carti since like 2017 maybe.
So Ken Carson dropped Yale before a Whole Lotta Red.
Yeah, but we don't know how long the album was being worked on, or that sound was being worked on. Well, if you
consider, okay, so Ken Carson is kind of like known for working with the hyperpop producers, Starboy and like Out of Town. They have like a little collective who also produced with Filthy and others, Lucrative, I think, for a Whole Lotta Red on Carti's album. Like, I'm pretty sure Ken was boys with them, kinda. I'm not sure if it was before Carti. You're right. I don't know what the order is, but I'm just saying that new sound might he might just be taking influences from the younger people and then popularizing it, or like taking it one step forward. Because Whole Lotta Red didn't sound like Ken Carson necessarily, but definitely similar producers.
Okay, that's actually new. I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that before. That's actually new. And if he is doing that, then I feel like that turns him more into like a guy that can really find talent. And then, is he kind of like Drake at that point though? Then
I knew you were gonna go there, potentially.
Because then you're just taking the sauce.
I mean,
not taking the sauce, but you're signing the artist. And then you're kind of doing what you signed them for. So you have the good ear to be like, hey, this is...
Isn't that the whole talent, though, as a rapper? Because beat selection is so crucial that finding the best producers at the time with unique sounds, like, that's more than half of it.
Well, I think that's more A&Ring, because isn't he finding the producers because he likes this particular artist that's made something with those producers? And then he's signing that artist? If we are operating on the premise that
but if you can A&R for yourself, isn't that like the best matchup? Skill set?
I would say so. To progress, yes.
So yeah, I think that is talent in itself, but also I think Carti like brings a whole different type of flow on it.
But do you think he has more of a luxury to experiment because people aren't necessarily looking to hear him rap about his life? Because for other rappers, I feel like they're limited in terms of, let's say, a drill rapper. They're talking about stuff that they're doing or they've done. So if they've lived, a good life for a couple of years after getting famous, they have to either keep getting into beef, because people are like, yeah, we've heard about all these bars before. Or like, for instance, Drake, people are expecting him to rap about his life. So if not much life has happened, then it makes it more difficult to create interesting lyrical content. But that isn't a limitation that Carti has, because people aren't really expecting him to rap much about himself. Like, he'll drop like a bar here that's like, talking about like free his brother or stuff like that. But he's allowed to more explore different sounds, because he's kind of just picking beats. And then I'm not saying he's just picking beats, because I do think there is talent in being able to create the vocals for the beats to create the song. But there's no expectation of like, oh, is Carti maturing? And what does that look like?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's like J. Cole can't just start. Well, doesn't that relate kind of to Baby Keem and Kendrick? Like, Kendrick is limited in the sense that he cannot just drop an album where he's fucking around freestyling, right?
Yeah.
However, there are theories that he uses Baby Keem as a vessel for his more playful flows. Although I personally think Baby Keem is his own fire artist, maybe Kendrick influences it somewhat. They are family, but regardless, yeah, I mean, I agree that, but I mean, even with my channel, right, with the subject matter, I've talked about that limitation. You kind of make your own bed. So these people, we were talking about Korean rappers hopping on drill beats.
Yeah.
They could have maintained the experimentation if they didn't just hop on every wave.
Yeah. But then they would, because they're just looking at like, how can we be like American artists?
But can Carti make a lyrical album and people listen to it? I think everybody's limited in their own way.
Yeah, you're right. But I think he has more flexibility because like producers, they can change their sound.
Yeah, 100%.
They can completely become, they can produce in different genres. And
I think producers are the most
yeah, they have the most
flexible.
like creative flexibility. Although like business wise, people are probably like, yo, we know you for this, can you make more of this? But in terms of like, they can still have success, but you're kind of pigeonholed in terms of subject matter if you're a rapper. And then if there's age involved too, so if like a rapper's like 40, they're like, bro, you're not doing drills at 40. Like we just saw your family photos for Christmas. Like cut it out. We're gonna listen to
You're
this
a grown
19
man comments.
We're gonna listen to this 17-year-old that we know just caught a body last week. But I think that's a good thing by Carti too. So I like what he's doing. I don't necessarily like enjoy a lot of the music, other than like, you know, the early albums, like maybe a song here and there. But the fact that he's able to captivate people the way that he is surprising, especially since it happened, what, 4 years into his career? It's not like he just started off and he was the wave. He's only really become the wave past 2 years. Maybe post-Dilate, you could say too, but
I think even self-titled, like, had you heard any shit like that?
yes.
From who?
It was like a lot of Chief Keef, like later Chief Keef, like Almighty So, like stuff like that. That was like heavily. That was kind of like Carti style.
Carti was definitely like a Chief Keef clone at the beginning for sure, but self-titled,
even to a degree. But I feel like self-titled is when he morphed that more so. It was kind of like swag rap slash.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like the flow's kind of similar, for sure.
But nobody really copied or successfully copied it other than Cochise. Which just goes to show.
Well, Cochise kind of got on the Dilate-ish. Like it's the Pierre Bourne before. Like self-titled is kind of like a bouncy Pierre Bourne. Dilate's kind of like drawn out synths, like electronic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what Cochise and like K Swab and like others are kind of.
Do you think that actually I don't think Carti would have signed Cochise. The brand just doesn't align well with his personality.
He's not dark.
Yeah.